Welcome to the official Boyz to Nerdz review of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 4. Didn't necessarily look up the title name. Mr. Gerald, can you assist me? Damn it. Damn.
Part 2 Game of Thrones, actually.
Damn it. I don't want to say we have somebody in the room that's not participating that could assist us, you know. But Kevin here. I have Steve, as always.
Yep.
And then I have Gerald, who decided to return and, actually follow through with, his commitments.
Come back.
He's alive. He's like Lady Stoneheart, back from the
like
dead.
Jon Snow.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would have been a better comparison to people who only watch the show.
Book of the Stranger.
Thank you, mysterious third person. Fourth person. Shadow that's been spewed out of Melisandre's vagina. Anyway, you only get... I'm sorry. All right, so we saw Season 4, or Episode 6.
Season 6, Episode 4.
I need to get my bearings. So we've seen Season 6, Episode 4. What did everybody think?
It was a lot slower than the previous 3 episodes. There wasn't a whole lot of action per se, but there was a lot of good turning points within the storylines.
Literally no action.
So
A little bit.
Literally none.
We talked about the last review, what's going to happen with Sansa and Jon Snow. Are they going to miss each other? Are they going to meet each other? Because at the end of the 3rd episode, it looked like Jon Snow was leaving Castle Black was on his way out. Which
was stupid. He freaking walked through the gate.
And then walked.
And then in the next episode, he was back.
So Sansa shows up. They reunite. First time that they've seen each other since, was it Season 1?
I watched the creators after the show. They said they've never been on camera together. I don't know if that's accurate. I do remember the only time I can ever think of them being on camera together is in Episode 1 pilot, when they're waiting for the Queen and the King to pull up into Winterfell, and Arya has that little helmet on, and they're all waiting in that line.
He wasn't there because he wasn't allowed to be there.
They have never been on camera together.
So we saw the two of them reunite. Or unite on camera for the first time.
So good. Is that weird because they're brother and sister?
Sansa is trying to convince Jon Snow to take back Winterfell. It's their families. Yada yada yada. Jon Snow says, "I'm done fighting. I don't want to fight anymore. My watch has ended."
Jon Snow being a little bitch about everything.
But towards the end of the episode, it appears as though through Ramsay's letter to Jon Snow that he's going to head down to Winterfell and try to dethrone Ramsay.
No doubt. Like that band from the 90s. Gerald, what did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was a good episode. It was a little bit slower, but they were still progressing things along. It was nice to have a happy moment in Game of Thrones.
How short is Kit Harington? When he went to hug Sansa,
I think she's just really tall.
She was she was easily like 30 inches taller than him. He is at least maybe 5'7", if that, coming from a 5'9" man myself. Anyway, keep going.
I'm really excited about that. Tormund looking at Brienne like that.
That was kind of odd. Maybe he likes big women. I don't know. Isn't he the one that said?
Like bears.
I was gonna say, isn't he the one that claims to have slept with a bear? Yeah. And she was in the episode called "Bear and the Maiden Fair." Connection? I don't know. Easily the weakest episode that we've seen so far. If this was a movie and there's a soft opening, a lot of story building in the middle, really boring stuff, and then like a really awesome kick-ass ending, this episode would be that middle part with, just building stories with nothing actually happening. Went to the Iron Islands, Theon came back. I just don't see how, I don't like that storyline, because they're going to do the King's Moot, right? Then what? That's the whole thing. We need to see how Euron is going to come into the story. We've seen him on camera one time. Season's roughly 40% of the way over. And he's supposed to be an awesome character. So that's fine. I want to talk about Daenerys. I'm going to spend a lot of time on Daenerys. Not this second. Because first of all, I have to get the bad taste out of my mouth. But the other big plot points from this episode, like I said, the North, that's huge. The Greyjoys, the Lannisters seems to have come to an alliance with, what's her name? Heart of Thrones, Thrones of Queen of Thorns. That's what it is. Thanks for the help, guys. Jesus.
Olenna Tyrell.
Oh yes, and Kevin Lannister. They seem to have come to an allegiance to try and rid the Sparrow nightmare. I do think it's going to be resolved by next episode. Like, they need to stop dicking around, because who cares about these mindless religious people that it's just done. It's been played out. We saw it last season. It's gone halfway into the season. They need to resolve it.
Finally got some more camera time for Marjorie.
I was actually saying when we were watching, I was like, is Loris going to even be in the season? Like, we haven't seen him at all. And then we saw him. Talk about a broken man. So, I mean, he was such a cool character when we first saw him, you know, the Knight of Flowers, like, kick-ass. And now he's just, I don't know, I just don't like how weak they've made him look. And I get that was the point. They were trying to break him. They were trying to Batman, The Dark Knight Rises him. You know what I mean? You know, I'll break your spirit, then I'll kill you, that type of stuff. But that needs to be done. Haven't revisited Dorne yet, so.
We did see the veil.
We did see the veil, so.
And Littlefinger.
Littlefinger, I'm actually surprised. Let me know, are you guys surprised that he's actually trying to assist Sansa?
No.
No.
Because he's in love with Sansa. Let's be real.
But it's
Plus, he always has a plan.
It's Littlefinger. I don't know. I just was surprised that he was like, let's rally our troops to go and help them. Because obviously, that's going to be the deciding factor. Because there's no way they're going to beat up. They say 5,000, but they don't know that the Umbers have now joined, which I'm not entirely convinced that it's the case. I still think it's a ruse. Get it? Ruse bullet? Anyway. So he's going to help them. There's no way 2,000 wildlings are going to defeat a 5,000, actual army. You know what I mean? No way in hell. One death in the show. Osha from season 2.
Yeah.
Stabbed right in the throat with a knife that he peeled an apple with. That was kind of nasty. Hate that guy. So that was a little surprising. She tried to woo him just like she wooed Theon in season 2. Didn't work. And she died immediately.
Yeah. I feel like the end is coming for Ramsay, though. We've seen how sinister
Jon Snow's
how evil of a character he is, and then he sends this letter to Jon Snow that was just, you can tell that his ego has gone over the top.
I still think,
and he feels like he's untouchable.
I still think the Greyjoys are going to flock to the Starks for some reason. You might think I'm dead wrong, but think about it. Theon has gone back. He's going to be that voice. Okay, how else? Where else are they going to play in? Nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Other big things that happened in the episode, I guess we'll talk about it. Daenerys, she's captive. Jorah and what's his name? What's his face?
Her lover.
Dario
Naharis. Original Dario Naharis, bad guy in Deadpool, but not this Dario Naharis. Second Dario Naharis. They go and rescue her. And they finally meet her, and then she's like, no. What are you doing? I'm going to do this myself. Watch me. And let's talk about the last scene. First of all, I'm going to make a bold statement. Worst scene in Game of Thrones history. Worst scene in Game of Thrones history. And here's why. She pushes fire in a dirt tent. It's dirt. Maybe stone. Earth. Nothing. It sets ablaze like a goddamn propane tank. Like, it's like spewing fire like she's freaking Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Goddamn Four. Like, or Prince Zuko from The Last Airbender. Like, it doesn't work like that. And the people panic, which I get. Okay, people running around, they're panicking. But then the whole place sets afire within 2 minutes. It's like a wildfire. It's out of control. Like, you've been pouring lighter fluid and everything on it. The door is hinged shut. That's the whole point. They can't get out. And then they cut away to the people. Within 2 seconds, the door is now gone. Not like broken, completely gone. Daenerys storms out of the hut naked. There's no way her clothes would have burned, so she must have taken them off, which is interesting because she has a no nudity clause. So she must have taken them off, and then she comes out and people freak out, kneel before her, these savage people that have hated sorcery and witchcraft the entire time we've seen them. But no, some girl doesn't get burnt in a tent, so we just go and immediately kneel. We're this big warrior race. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? A, we've seen her do this before. I can only see them try to empower Daenerys so many times. I'm sorry, she's a girl. I don't want to just say she's a girl, but she's a girl that can do no wrong, it seems to me. Even when she's in a bad position, she comes out on top every time. And all she did this time was tip over some fire, and it's fucking stupid, Steve. I hate it. It's stupid. It's the least Game of Thrones part about Game of Thrones. The fact that she always comes out on top. Nothing ever. Sons of the Harpy did nothing. They killed her people, but they did nothing. Now these freaking people, she escapes without a scratch or anything. That's my rant. I hated it. It's the worst scene in Game of Thrones history.
I would say it's the worst.
Definitely the worst scene.
I do agree with you on the execution of some of the things with the fire.
It's too cheesy.
Like a wildfire.
It was cheesy.
That and everything else. But I just thought it was another Daenerys scene. It was better at least than the one with the fighting pit and the dragon.
That one was awful too. Same
Of
circumstances.
last season, but
That one was.
I can see your points, but I don't think it was that bad.
That one was bad. The one with the fighting pits was bad. The one where they're all like, Misa, Misa, Misa. That one was awful. Like, how many times do we have to end an episode, a season, where Daenerys is just being praised because she's the greatest thing on God's green earth? My God. Not only is she an awful ruler, we've seen Tyrion, who's been ruling for her for 5 minutes, do more and have so much more progress than she ever has.
All I have to say is I think Jorah really liked your plan.
And you've had it here. This is the official Boyz to Nerds review. We'll be back next week. Make sure to check out the YouTube, where I will continue to rip apart Daenerys Stormborn because she's literally the worst character in the world, other than little bitch Jon Snow. See ya!